It's Sound93 Boxing. I'm back with a quick video. Danny Garcia, the WBC World Champion. Normally, as I expected, or as I thought it would happen, is he needs to be required to do a VADA testing. And, you know, I was kind of shocked that the USADA was going on. Now, VADA is pretty much the real deal. USADA is, I mean, Google it, by the way. I don't want to create no controversy with that shit, but all I'm going to say is VADA is a bit more strict, is better, basically. Now, Team Garcia was asked about VADA, and then nothing really went on. And he doesn't know why VADA wouldn't test him. And if you Google Shady Slim, I know a lot of people don't like him, but, you know, this one thing, he's basically factual. He actually emailed, I believe he emailed the WBC, and they emailed him back saying Keith Thurman didn't have to do it. He was not enrolled for VADA. Which is quite interesting because, you know, Keith Thurman, I mean, surely the title's on the line, right? Unless it's not, then okay. But if the title's on the line, he should be doing VADA. Like, if he can potentially, he can potentially gain the WBC title if he beats Danny Garcia. So why is he not enrolled to the VADA testing? Is Keith Thurman on something? Keith Thurman might just be on something, who knows, man. And you just don't know. Some of these, like, people that you think, like, you know, you start liking them, you think they're very physically good in terms of their ability to be fast, hard punches. Or even not them, maybe just, you know, decently fast, decently hard puncher. And next thing you know, they get caught with steroids, and you're like, what the fuck? Because, you know, a person who, you know, an athlete who you look up, like, you not necessarily look up to, but you're a big fan of, you don't want them to, you know, get caught for shit like that. Because, you know, it's like, I don't know how to explain it, but yeah, if you know boxing, you know what I'm talking. If you like watching sports as a fan, you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, you know, Keith Thurman is talking about you know, he could be a drug cheat, but, you know, regardless of that, he's talking about some other shit. He's talking about telling Danny Garcia to be careful, this and that. And Keith Thurman fans are riding with it. Ooh, Danny Garcia's like, see, like, you know, Eddie Murphy said, "What have you done for me lately?" Referring to how a woman's mindset's like. Go Google Eddie Hearn. No, not Ed. I was gonna say Eddie Hearn. I'll say Eddie Murphy, right? Just Google or YouTube Eddie Murphy. What have you done for me lately? If you haven't already watched it, I'm fairly sure a lot of you have. But, you know, that's really a lot of times a woman's mindset. And similarly, that's how a boxing fan's mindset is. It seems like that's how a lot of boxing fans are like. You know, Danny Garcia has taken these chances. He has proven people wrong, and, you know, some of these fans still pretend like as if he hasn't done that, and then he's about to easily get whooped, like as if he hasn't been in this position where fans thought he would easily get whooped. You know, people forget that. You know, what have you done for me lately? It's kind of crazy. A lot of you boxing fans are like bitches, man. Straight up. How you gonna think Keith Thurman is gonna walk through this guy? Oh, because he punches hard. Oh, because he seems very fast. Oh, because he's a good boxer. He moves. He's unpredictable. No, he's not unpredictable. Keith Thurman is not no unpredictable guy. Oh, if Lamont Peterson can do that, Herrera can do that. Herrera has a better jab than Thurman. Herrera's more awkward than Thurman. Might just have a better chin than Thurman as well. So, you know, hey, don't compare, you know, Thurman to Herrera or Peterson. Peterson might just whoop Keith Thurman. I'm actually being honest. Lamont Peterson, if they fight Keith Thurman, like if he fights Keith Thurman, maybe one more fight at 147, I think he might just whoop Keith Thurman. He's a better boxer on the long range. He has a way better jab. He has quicker, smooth footwork. Keith Thurman just sort of hops in real fast. He's like an unpolished previous version of Amir Khan, but a bit worse. Actually, a lot worse and a lot slower. When I say a lot worse, I'm not even talking about the speed. Plus, it's slower in speed. Keith Thurman's footwork is certainly overrated. I've rarely seen Keith Thurman pivot. You know, turning his opponent around and pivoting. You know, a lot of things that you would require for ring generalship, and people think he's got great footwork, but I'm not so sure. I think there's a lot of things that's missing about Keith Thurman. So let me go through some of them. Keith Thurman, as I said, his footwork, yeah, seems great. He's got some foot speed, but he just sort of moves around. He's not very. He's got good foot, pretty good footwork. But again, it's very incomplete. Keith Thurman is an incomplete fighter in my opinion. He doesn't pivot. He's sort of, yeah, I've never seen him pivot, and that's very important for him to pivot. But people think, again, look at his boxing ability, just outboxing and stuff like that. He jabs a lot. He can throw combination punches, and again, he can move around, do that stuff. He can throw punches front foot and back foot. That's really one of his advantages, and I'll give him that. That as he's moving, he can punch. That's one of his main strengths, and I will give him credit for that. That's one of the reasons why he's a dangerous fighter. But again, like when he boxes people, his jab sucks compared to like Danny Garcia actually has a better jab than Keith Thurman. He just doesn't use it as Actually, no, he does use it often, but like I think Keith Thurman does use it a bit more often. He uses his jab a little bit more often, and I think Keith Thurman, like, cause he's moving around a lot and he's just doing this boxing shit, kind of like a Lamont Peterson, in the early rounds against Danny Garcia, like a Amir Khan, like a lot of these moving around boxer type people, like a William Monroe Jr. in a way. They he tends to move around like them and kind of tries to do what they're doing, but at the same time he doesn't have the jab, and it's like, again, seeing his boxing game is incomplete. And when it comes to being a puncher, Keith Thurman, most of his hard shots, like real hard shots that people think he's gonna land on Garcia rather, and he's gonna knock Garcia out. It's only when it's loaded, and shout out to Be Real TV. He did mention this. Keith Thurman's strongest punches are when it's loaded. He doesn't really have a extremely strong anything if he doesn't load up load up heavily. Like you can see him cocking back and just coming back, right? He's able to land those punches as it's loaded, which a lot of people can't do that because, when you load a punch, the other fighter can see it coming, and that's gonna be difficult. That's a difficult thing about Keith Thurman. If you're an opponent of Keith Thurman, that will make it difficult for you. But as I just mentioned, he's not a complete fighter. His defense sucks. His defense is actually worse than Danny Garcia's defense. Keith Thurman's head movement is not really the best. Keith Thurman's he's open to the head and to the body, especially on his left side. His left hand is like flared out. He's open to the head and to the body, and he holds his left hand, like his left fist, his glove, nowhere near his chin. And Keith Thurman, he will get touched to the body a few times with the right hand, and then Danny Garcia will go upstairs. Keith Thurman is really an overrated fighter, and it's kind of pathetic how these fans see a guy who's just knocking out not really the best level of oppositions, but they're like, oh, he's the truth, this and that. How man? Have you seen so many fighters like this come and go in boxing? Andre Berto, I'm fairly sure when he was like fighting that type of level of opposition, the lower level, before, I'm talking about Bandu level. Keith Thurman was, I'm fairly sure I think he was beating up these fighters, right? But now people see Andre Berto as just a fucking, I don't know. I mean, I guess he's a bit underrated, Andre Berto is, but Keith Thurman might just end up like that. So don't just buy into hype. See how these fighters are performing on a higher level. Look, I can knock out a bunch of average 10-year-old kids. 100 of them, I'll get 100 knockouts. It doesn't mean shit. It doesn't mean that if I fight a decent level opposition that I will win. So that's really all I have to say, man. I'm SR93 Boxing. I'm out.